about the WNBA Finals.
The WNBA Finals were supposed to be the pinnacle of women's basketball, filled with passion, intensity, and stars like Aya Wilson and DeWanna Bonner. But instead of the electric atmosphere everyone expected, the sight of countless empty seats told a different story. What should have been the league's most celebrated event ended up feeling more disappointing than historic.
I don't care. I think y'all care about the drama around it. I do believe that, but I don't think you care about the events itself. And judging by ticket prices, neither does anybody.
There were barely any fans in the arena, and despite the sky-high ticket prices, the excitement that usually followed Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever was completely missing. It was beyond embarrassing and incredibly frustrating for two of the league's biggest stars. Their irritation was visible on camera, and their sharp comments about the empty seats were clearly picked up by the mic. Beneath that frustration, though, was an undeniable sense that the WNBA's buzz had vanished, and without Caitlin Clark, it seemed like no one really cared to watch.
Ever there was proof that the Caitlin Clark fans / Fever fans are now the overwhelming majority of the fandom? Look at ticket prices for finals games.
You'd expect massive excitement for the WNBA Finals. Two elite teams, stacked with MVP-caliber talent, going head-to-head for the championship. But as game day approached, something was clearly off. The arenas weren't filling up, sports bars were quiet, and there were no viral moments lighting up social media. Fans were stunned when they saw ticket prices, championship seats for as little as $30. What was supposed to be the grand stage of women's basketball instead felt like it was about to be a ghost town.
The get-in price for Game 1 matchup between the Aces and the Mercury for a WNBA Finals game, holy hell, there's $35 seats right there. Right there. Plenty of good seats.
Aya Wilson, the MVP and face of the Las Vegas Aces, couldn't hide her disappointment. She had envisioned a loud, energetic, and electric finals atmosphere, but during warm-ups, the sight of countless empty red seats left her stunned. In disbelief, she reportedly muttered to herself, "This is the finals." It wasn't arrogance. It was pure shock that the biggest stage in women's basketball felt so empty.
Wow, $35 whole dollars. This might be the best part of the video for the WNBA, because when you gauge the interest, to gauge the interest of this series, and it was.
Players like Aya Wilson and DeWanna Bonner have spent years working to grow the league, yet they found themselves playing in front of scattered fans while cameras panned over rows of empty seats. Bonner, visibly frustrated after Game 1, didn't hold back in her post-game interview. Despite her team's effort, the silence from the stands was overwhelming. With clear disappointment in her voice, she said, "You work your entire career for moments like this, and you just hope people care enough to show up." That single quote captured all the emotion and frustration of the night.
Alyssa Thomas and the Mercury in the finals against A'ja Wilson and the Aces. Will you be locked in watching this series? ? Yes or no? Hit the poll. 4% of brave souls said yes. 96% said hail to.
As the game unfolded, players began to realize in real time that the league's excitement might have been more fragile than anyone thought. Fans noticed it too. The lack of energy spread fast across social media as photos of empty seats went viral, igniting debates about what went wrong. Many pointed to one glaring absence, while others blamed poor marketing and inflated ticket prices. All season long, rookie Caitlin Clark had reignited national interest in women's basketball, drawing record TV ratings and sellout crowds with the Indiana Fever. But without her presence, the finals seemed to lose all their spark.
Fever and Caitlin Clark was playing in a finals game, let's say against the Mercury, with all that drama around there. Would there be a single ticket less than $300? Now, I mean, honestly, a single ticket less than $300. I don't think so. I think you'd have courtside seats go for $5,000. If Caitlin Clark was playing, if she was in these finals.
League executives tried to spin the situation as a clash between two historic franchises, but fans weren't buying it. They wanted real stories, emotion, and a reason to truly care, and the league couldn't deliver that this time. The finals were meant to showcase peak competition, yet they ended up revealing an uncomfortable truth. The WNBA's appeal still revolves around a handful of superstar personalities. By the end of Game 1, all momentum had vanished, and online chatter dubbed it the quietest finals in league history. The atmosphere didn't reflect a lack of talent, but a lack of connection. No one was there to see the stars shine, and Aya Wilson and DeWanna Bonner were clearly fed up with that harsh reality.
You're not invested, you are not interested in watching this BS transpire on your television.
What was supposed to be a proud moment for Aya Wilson and DeWanna Bonner after Game 1 instead turned into a heated exchange. Both veterans had poured everything into leading their teams to the championship, but instead of roaring applause and flashing cameras, they were met with awkward silence and half-empty arenas. The WNBA had promised respect, growth, and recognition for the women's game, yet it suddenly felt like the league had taken a huge step backward. For Aya and DeWanna, it wasn't just about the attendance numbers. It was about what that silence represented. It was about feeling abandoned by the very fans who were supposed to be rallying behind the league. Aya Wilson's frustration showed during the post-game press conference. Even though she stayed composed, her words carried real weight. "We're playing some of the best basketball out there," she said. "But it's like nobody's watching." It was a powerful statement, and she wasn't wrong. There was almost no national coverage, social media engagement was flat, and game highlights failed to generate even a fraction of the buzz that surrounded every Caitlin Clark moment during the season. The contrast was undeniable. DeWanna Bonner, meanwhile, didn't hold anything back. She was raw, emotional, and completely unapologetic. "It's disrespectful," she declared. "We are worthy of crowded arenas. We are worthy of experiencing that kind of energy," she said. Her comments quickly went viral, sparking heated debates online about whether her frustration was justified. Many fans sympathized, arguing that the league's marketing had failed by overlooking what truly attracted viewers. Others pushed back, claiming that Bonner and other veterans had played a role in dividing the fan base. That's when the entire narrative began to shift. What started as frustration over low attendance quickly turned into a reflection of the WNBA's deeper issues. What should have been a proud moment for Aya Wilson and DeWanna Bonner after Game 1 instead erupted into tension and disappointment. Both veterans had sacrificed everything to reach the championship, yet they were met with silence and half-empty arenas instead of cheers and celebration. The WNBA had promised progress, growth, and greater attention, but it suddenly felt like the league had taken a painful step backward. For Aya and DeWanna, it wasn't just about the empty seats. It was about feeling abandoned by the very supporters who were supposed to stand behind them. That Wilson's frustration showed clearly during the press conference. She remained calm, but her tone carried real weight. "We're playing some of the best basketball out there," she said. "But it's like nobody's watching." It was a powerful statement, and she was absolutely right. National coverage was almost non-existent. Social media engagement was stagnant, and game clips barely made a ripple compared to the viral frenzy that surrounded every Caitlin Clark highlight during the season. The contrast was impossible to ignore. DeWanna Bonner didn't hold back either. She was blunt and unapologetic. "It's disrespectful," she declared. "We are worthy of crowded arenas. We are worthy of experiencing that kind of energy," she added. Her remarks went viral, igniting debates among fans about whether her frustration was justified. Many sympathized, arguing that the league's marketing had failed by overlooking what fans genuinely wanted. Others claimed she and other veterans had fueled divisions within the fan base. The narrative began to shift, showing how what started as frustration over low attendance had grown into a broader reflection of the WNBA's mounting challenges. Once again, there were barely any fans in attendance. Tickets were extremely expensive, and none of the excitement that usually followed Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever was present. It was embarrassing and genuinely frustrating for two of the league's top players. Their irritation was visible on camera, and their pointed comments about the lack of support were clearly captured on the mic. Yet beneath the anger, a deeper realization began to emerge. The WNBA's prominence had clearly faded, and without Caitlin Clark, interest in watching just wasn't there. What should have been a proud moment for Aya Wilson and Dawana Bonner after Game 1 instead turned into a heated argument. Both veterans had poured everything into leading their teams to the championship, yet they were met with awkward silence and half-empty arenas instead of applause and flashing cameras. The WNBA had promised respect, growth, and attention, but it suddenly felt like the league had taken a step backward. For Aya and Dawana, it wasn't just about the attendance numbers.